Per cortesia, me lo ripeti ancora?
Subscribe.
Mi scusi con me?
Subscribe.
Ancora una volta.
Subscribe. 10 things I hate about living in Sweden?
A while ago, I made a simply incredible video. A while ago, I made a...
Okay, let me see. What is he gonna guess? Or what is he gonna list? He's gonna talk about... he's gonna talk about buying alcohol, maybe? How hard it is to buy liquor here? High taxes. He's gonna talk about how everyone is... how the weather is bad, or that it's dark all the time. And then I should make like a bingo badge. And then maybe talk about how antisocial everyone is.
Incredible video about 10 reasons why I like living here in Sweden. But then I thought, fuck it, I mean, the internet is filled with way too many positive things. Here is some living in this fucking country. So for instance, between about October and March, most of Sweden for most of the time is covered in complete soul-crushing darkness. The sun just don't show up during 6 months of the year, you know. Swedish summers are fine, and Stockholm is lovely when the sun is out, you know. But this doesn't make up for the months of depressing shit that's being pushed down your throat during the winter months here, in my opinion. There's a reason Swedish people are known to just stand in the sun for a while during the spring. You know, every Swedish person is essentially a fucking Dark Souls character. Now, number 2 might have something to do with this darkness, because it's mirrored in the people as well. It's a very known cultural thing here in Sweden that Swedish people have this sort of ice-cold barrier around themselves, you know, that is very difficult to crack socially. This does not apply for Swedes living abroad, interacting with other Swedes, or Swedes in Sweden interacting with foreigners. So unless you're also a Swedish person watching this, this is like impossible for me to prove. And if you are Swedish, then but yeah, there's something going on between Swedes, or rather there's nothing going on between Swedes. It's good in the sense that Swedish people have very high respect for people's, you know, personal space and stuff. But, you know, random interactions with strangers is a big fucking no-no. Most Swedish people would rather run a cheese grater along their gooch than have eye contact with a stranger on the tube, you know. Next one, Sweden is fucking tiny. And there's gonna be like lots of unfair stuff in this video, but fuck it. It can't help it, but you know, size matters to me. It's obviously all relative. I mean, my penis is way bigger than a thimble. If you come from a town with a population smaller than the sub count for this channel, Skövde, maybe, I don't know, then Stockholm might seem like a big city to you. Having lived in London and Tokyo, though, I don't think it is. I feel that big cities are the most open-minded areas. You're surrounded by so many fucking people that it's impossible to feel alienated or out of place, because there's always going to be someone who's even weirder than you are, you know. So for instance, if I wanted to roll down a high street in London on, you know, roller skates dressed as a banana, I don't know, I think city sizes have diminishing returns. I think when a city gets too big, I think it kind of falls off. I prefer I don't know, this is a sweet spot. And the thing is that when the city gets big enough, it almost splits up into different regions anyway that are all their own little cities, kind of, right? Does that make sense? Playing the Swedish national anthem, shouting about how much I love my toast just right. Then people wouldn't look at me twice. They've most likely seen something even weirder, just like the same morning. If I did the same thing on Drottninggatan, however, I like cities where you can use a bike or walk to like any nice place. The local news for the next month. The number 4 on this list is connected to this. I hated LA no 24/7 corner shops here in Stockholm. This sucks the anus. One of the things I miss the most from living in both London and Tokyo is that you could just pop down the corner at any time during the day and then buy whatever you need. This probably has... It is a bit sus. We have like 7-Elevens that aren't even open from 7 to 11. Like, that should be illegal. What the fuck? But I don't know, where I live actually, there's a few places here that are open. They close at like 2 AM or something, and then on the weekends they're open 24 hours. But to do with these sort of excellent you're gonna get dizzy and conditions here in Sweden. We don't want to force people to work awkward hours too much, but still, I do miss being piss drunk and being able to buy some Reese's from the poor underpaid guy on the corner, you know, or to go there to top up on some beer and wine for the party in the fucking park. Which brings me to the next point. Yeah, it's worker rights. Systembolaget. Ha! I knew it. Here it comes. 5. This is number 5? Yes. Now, the idea behind Systembolaget is a good one, I suppose. But fuck me, it sucks. For those of you who don't know, it is not possible in Sweden to buy alcohol from regular shops like you can in pretty much every other country around the world. You can only buy alcohol stronger than 3.5% at a licensed pub or restaurant, or at Systembolaget, which is the state-owned company with a complete monopoly on this shit. This is as close as we are to the socialist nightmare here, you know. So let's say, for instance, that me and my partner are in bed after some steaming hot sex, and we both crave a post-anal white Russian. Then my brother can't simply pop down to the corner shop and buy some Kahlua. We have to wait to the next day when Systembolaget opens, you know. Unless it's a Sunday.
What the fuck?
Closed on Sundays. This
is such a weird, like, otherwise wholesome video. It's got the guitars in the background and the lo-fi playing, and it just looks like a very innocent video. And then he's just talking about doing his brother?
Now, I might have lost some of you in number 5 there with, you know, the reference to me and my brother having some sexy time. But let me bring you back to the moist side by bringing up the Swedish housing market. This shit is frustrating to the tits, you know. I slipped into this rental flat in central Stockholm on the biggest fucking räkmacka you can imagine. Most people my age either live outside the city or have incredibly rich fucking parents who have bought an apartment for them, you know. And if you want a bigger apartment than this one in this part of town, you will literally have to wait about 50 plus years to get one. I went on a walk with my dad through one of these areas a while back, and we talked about how literally the only people who were allowed to live there were people who signed up for the queue system SKB back in the fucking 1960s. Compare that to me getting a place to live in London after looking for about a week, perhaps, or like a month tops in
What's so bad? I don't know. No, I mean, sure, I don't know what it's like for you guys, but here, if you want to rent, buying is one thing, but if you want to rent a place in the city, you have to wait in line 15 years minimum, depends on the city and place. It's crazy.
London one might be shared with, you know,
in the
5
bigger
other
cities,
people,
obviously.
One of whom is a mold monster that was born in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And the Tokyo one might be, you know, 2.5
to rent. Yes.
Big, but still,
there are no available rental apartments. Like so people have to sign up with the companies and wait. There's a queue system, and it takes a good 15 to 20 years in the big cities. So usually what happens is that parents that are clever sign their kids up when they're born. But if your parents didn't do that, you're kind of sort of screwed. I mean, you're not totally screwed, right? So I had rentals here, but I had to I couldn't just get a nice place. I had to sign up and find some random person that was renting in second hand, and I had to fight a bunch of other people that, it's really annoying.
They were easy to find, at least. Now, number 7.
You can do private deals, exactly, but they're hard. It depends on who you are. Girls have it easier, actually. At least back when I was doing it, some of the ads straight up just said only girls. Because there's this idea, I guess, that girls are tidier.
This next reason is completely uncalled for, but I kind of don't like Swedish.
Yeah, only in the major
I don't know, or rather, I don't really like myself speaking Swedish. I think I feel very sluggish and boring. I feel that in Swedish, I'm not able to, you know, live out the suave, witty, ball-crushingly charming man that I know that I really am. Probably because I grew up adoring British English. I'm just frustrated that nothing in Swedish can ever come remotely close to sounding as charming as, you know, Hugh Grant in Notting Hill. Number 9, everything in Sweden is a bit too much by the books. Now, what the fuck do I mean by this? Now, this is obviously wonderful when we're talking about, you know, fucking law and order and people behaving in the tvättstuga, you know, but sometimes it can go a bit out of hand. Like, for instance, it is completely unheard of to imagine like a Swedish official, you know, going, it's fine, we can sort of bend the rules a little bit here to just make this situation, you know, this car rental, for instance, or whatever, you know, just a bit more smooth for everyone. It's easier that way. That would almost never happen in Sweden. No, but this is like the rule, liksom. This is the way to do things, you know. It's a Swedish law, liksom. Nej. For example, it's common in London to see big apartment buildings with different coloured front doors. There's clearly no set idea or rule for what it should look like. This is impossible in Sweden. In like an apartment building, no one would consider, you know, painting their front door a different color than their neighbors. If you did, you could end up in trouble for breaking the local trivselregler or some shit. Okay, now fine, I mean, getting woken up by your flatmate in London who's had nothing to eat for the last week, apart from injecting anthrax into his eyeballs. That level of fucking nuts is not ideal, perhaps. But I still think that Sweden could learn from that guy. Just a little bit, you know. Let people paint their fucking doors, for instance. It won't hurt anyone. Or rather, the people it will hurt need to get over themselves.
This seems like grasping at straws.
Jantelagen. Snopparnas pittpojk. Fan alltså, jävla piss. Or the law of Jante. Or whatever the fuck, I don't know. Du ska fan inte tro att du är något. Nej. Essentially, you're not supposed to think you're anyone special.
I like that. I think that's good law. Or not law, but like mindset.
fun, isn't it? Jantelagen is a thing that many people in not just Sweden, but like Scandinavia have adopted. And it's very much, it's sort of seeped into the culture. It's everywhere. Okay, fine. Parts of it is great. Like, you're not supposed to brag. No one likes a fucking show off. It's the polar opposite of American, you know, everyone's a winner kind of mentality. No, everyone is a loser, and anyone who thinks otherwise is an obnoxious fuckface. You should behave and be like everyone else, otherwise you're just a dick-waving show-off, you know. So essentially, apart from the free healthcare, the free university tuition, social security, welfare, 5-week paid holiday, and very beneficial paternity leaves, Sweden is just a horrible, horrible place to live. So hello, welcome to the end of the video. We made another one, fuck yeah. Thank you very much for watching. Here is some fan art that I've received. I don't know, I mean, I've received fan art. Fucking crazy. Thanks, Mum.
Somewhere in Stockholm.
You individually, but fuck it, thanks again. I'm very
Alright, I enjoyed that video, even if I didn't agree on all the points. Some of them were good though. Okay.